Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at pubmed.gov on the NIH website, and we want to see cases of isolated elevated copper levels during pregnancy. What does it do? Now, we've talked a lot about copper in water, and we've made the distinction that lead, any amount, is dangerous. Copper, not the same case, but high levels or elevated levels can be dangerous. So, let's take a look at what they found. So outside of Wilson's disease, a condition where you're not able to process copper, abnormal copper metabolism is actually a rare condition, and in pregnancy, excess copper levels can be associated with uterine growth restriction and preeclampsia and neurological disease. Now, there was a report for that. A 32-year-old, Gravande 4, Para, 2012, with obstetric history complicated by elevated copper levels, presented for routine prenatal care. Her children had elevated copper levels at birth, and her firstborn child had been diagnosed with autism and suffering 3 myocardial infarctions and being treated for elevated copper levels. So, as we talked about copper before, there can be some serious and there can be some issues with health. Even though there are some copper levels which are helpful for pregnancy. I'm not saying that all copper is bad, but once the elevated levels kick in, you can see that there's significant issues. During her prior pregnancies, she declined treatment for her elevated copper levels, and during this pregnancy, she had declined chelation therapy, which is a process of binding these heavy metals and then having them exit the body, and instead chose zinc therapy. She delivered a healthy infant with normal copper levels. So what are the conclusions and what can we derive from this? Alterations in copper metabolism are rare. This is a rare condition. I wouldn't say that a lot of women are at risk for this. That being said, the issues are the consequences in pregnancy can be devastating. So just because it's rare doesn't mean it's not dangerous. And that's one thing I want to emphasize on this channel. It's not necessarily that a problem, you don't see it often, so don't ignore it. Because if it does hit you, or if you do see this problem, it can be too late. While isolated elevations of copper in pregnancy is exceedingly rare, it is treated the same way as Wilson's disease. The goal is to prevent fetal growth restricting and neurological sequelae in the newborn, preeclampsia in the mother. Counseling, along with the treatment options and timely delivery, can greatly improve neonatal and maternal outcome. You can see the different citations and similar articles here. But really what we need to derive out of this is, if there's elevated copper levels during pregnancy, one place to check, and the thing we often use, is water. So it's always a good idea, especially in this case, to always have your water periodically tested for elevated levels of copper.